Sagittarius video, and bear with me, my allergies are a little rough this morning. And you don't know how bad your allergies really are until you make videos where you have to talk. Ordinarily, you would notice, until a situation like this. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I wanted to say real quick that if you have not checked out my past lives video, I made my very first one last week. And I'm going to be doing this in addition to my all signs reading and my twin flame reading every week. And also, by the weekend, I'm going to be doing runes readings. I'm really being divinely guided to do those. I've ordered some. I've never done it before. I would say that I'm going to teach myself, but I don't really think that it's teaching. I think it's more remembering how to do it, because that's really how spiritual gifts are. We wake up to them and we remember them. Because you got to remember that when we incarnate into the physical forms that we're in now, we take on soul amnesia. And so that's a whole part of spiritual awakening is remembering your gifts and your abilities and what you've been before as a soul. And I want to say something real quick. Things just come up for me and I just talk about them. But have you guys noticed, I don't really watch TV at all. So basically any type of news that I get is off of social media or off the internet. But if you've noticed, more and more actors and actresses, especially comedians, are spiritually awakening. Look at Jim Carrey. I believe that, because when I first started spiritually awakening, comedy was something that really helped me. Spiritual awakening can be tough. It can be really, really tough. It can be really lonely. You have a lot of very dark nights of the soul. And the thing that helped me the most was comedy. I didn't realize as a soul how funny I was. But spirits let me know that souls really are very funny. There's a connection between comedy and spiritual awakening. But as you notice, a lot of times as these comedians awaken more and more, they become less and less in the public eye, and they become more and more introverted. I look at Dave Chappelle. He completely left the business for a long time. And, it's my belief that that's why, is that you just get to where once you raise your vibrations to a point, you can't stand to be around lower energies anymore. It just drives you nuts. I know I've become very, very introverted. I really, I used to make videos, 2 or 3 times a week. Like on social media, I used to go live all the time and talk about stuff. And now I just really don't. Whatever's going on with me, I may or may not write about it in my blog, because I really haven't even been writing as much. I've just been very introverted. And, it's all right. There's a lot of soul searching that has to be done on a spiritual journey. So, it's all being divinely guided. But I don't know why I felt compelled to talk about that. But for some of you, if you have found that some of your spiritual and gifts involve comedy, that you actually find out that you're very funny and you didn't know that you were, that's pretty much normal with the spiritual awakening. Like I said, I'm not sure yet what the connection is between comedy and spirituality, but there is one. All right, so we have the 3 of Discs, which is the same as Pentacles. And basically the theme has been for the past week have been fears. Fears are illusions. Fears are not real. And any type of emotional triggers that you have right now are like road signs, showing you where your fears are at, showing you what you need to work on. So do pay attention to it. And once you realize that fears are illusions and you stop feeding them, you can be unbothered. You can have that fear just right there with you. You can stare it in the face and you can say, you know what, you are not real. And you have no idea how powerful it is when you can finally get to this point. There is so much power in that. I know I've faced so many fears lately, and it's so liberating. We have the Dragonfly Emergence card to clarify that. So basically, as you start raising your vibrations and you start shedding, basically you're shedding layers like an onion of any type of conditioning or fears that you've taken on. And most of the time we get these in childhood. You know, we are taught and conditioned as children to be fearful of things, to be fearful of animals, to be fearful of insects, reptiles, different groups of people. I know I grew up in a family where they were very, very scared of, and I say scared because you know what? Fear and hatred are the same thing. It's the same vibration. It's a lower vibration. But basically, I was raised to feel like I should be scared of or not like black people. And, you know, anyone who knows me knows that, you know, my ex-husband of 20 years was black. My children are biracial. So evidently that conditioning didn't stick. Because I've always been a free thinker, and I've always been like, no, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense, you know. Whatever you're saying, you know, to me about why I should be this way or that way just doesn't make sense to me. So I've always been considered to be a rebel or the black sheep of the family or a renegade. I was the problem child. And I think a lot of us who started spiritually awakening early found that we were like that black so-called, I hate to use terms like that because that's to say that black is bad and white is good, and I've collapsed duality a long time ago. So anything that has to do with opposites, I don't do, but for all practical purposes, it's a cliche that, you know, I'm throwing out there because a lot of people can relate to it. But I think a lot of us were considered to be black sheep of the family because we were free thinkers. We were open-minded. And we did not get conditioned like a lot of other people did. There was something different, something special about us. And I believe that if you're watching this video, that's part of why you're a part of this early wave or this first wave of people who are really being conscious and really aware of things and are really going inward and really shedding any type of conditionings that they have taken on so that they can emerge like this dragonfly. Sorry, it took me a while to be able to clarify the energy of that. We have the Knight of Cups. And I'm going to go ahead and skip to the clarification card. It's reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. These two cards are the same energy. The Knight of Cups is a fast-moving card. He comes in quickly. A lot of times he can be very immature and not think things through very clearly. So the message that I'm getting is that someone might be returning prematurely. Maybe this is someone that you were involved with and you both went your separate ways for a while. And this person has returned to your life, but it was a bit premature. Maybe they're still in another connection and they have not yet quite freed themselves from that, but they were really feeling drawn to you. It's because your soul magnetized them in. And it's happening for a reason. It's happening so that the two of you can work through more things together. So whatever's happening right now within this connection, don't judge it right now. And try not to focus on it too much. Whatever does come up, use it as a mirror to really check your own energy. But really be light with it. And when I say be light with it, tell yourself daily that whatever's for you, you cannot lose. So if this person is for me, I cannot lose them. and be fluid and allow people to come and go, but do so with boundaries. And the way that you have boundaries is to always put yourself first. Because we have the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups is a completion of a cycle. So I do feel like this person has returned to your life to show you that that you have changed, you have evolved. And this is showing you that. And this is showing you that you are ready for the next level of love. And the reason why you're ready for the next level of love is this broken heart. Now, a lot of times people see this broken heart and they're like, they judge this as bad. But we have to experience a broken heart in order for our heart to open. Because when we are so guarded that we don't let somebody else in, we really miss out on fulfilling connections, fulfilling love connections, ones that really satisfy our soul, because we keep it superficial and we barely let whatever type of romantic situation we have, just barely let it scratch the surface. Maybe you've been in a relationship out of convenience or comfort. We both are making money and we're both growing together financially, and that's our goal right now, so that's fine. But then you don't let anybody in. I was in a marriage for 20 years that was basically out of convenience and for the kids and for every reason but really loving each other. 20 years. And when I did finally meet my divine partner, and I left my husband, and he finally divorced his wife, and we're still working on balancing right now, balancing our energy. If you have not watched my Twin Flame videos, do check them out, as I talk about this more in depth. But when I actually let him in, I had my heart broken a few times. And I know he did too. But it had to break in order to start feeling again. To not be so cold and not be so, what's the word for it? Just cold. I know there's another word, and it's a hospital term. It's not sterile. It's, God, I can't think of the word that it is that it's coming to my head, but it's a hospital word. So we have to, I'm having a really hard time explaining the energy of this. We had to have our heart broken in order to start feeling again. That's all I can say about that. We have the Knight of Swords. This is the King of Swords, sorry. And so this is a lot of mental conflict. Maybe there's a lot going on in your life right now. A lot of changes. A lot of turbulence. And you're really judging this as bad right now. And maybe you're trying to figure out, okay, I'm trying to stay positive. I'm working with the law of attraction. I'm trying to manifest better situations in my life. Why are these things happening? Well, the reason why these things are happening is because you're clearing out the old to make room for the new. That's this right here, that energy. Clearing out the old, because the 10 is the completion of a cycle. So basically anything that's not for you anymore because you're no longer in alignment with it, but yet you're still trying to hold on to it anyway, is trying to move out of the way. So this could be relationships, this can be family, this can be your job, your living situation, who you're living with, where you're living at. Maybe you're supposed to relocate. And, I stayed in a job way longer than I was supposed to. I was supposed to have left that job last year because I knew it no longer resonated with me and it was sucking the soul out of me, but yet I was trying to hold on to it anyway, and it was snatched out from under me in January because it was not for me and I was supposed to leave. And the way that it happened was not so nice, because when the universe does come in and snatch something from you because you're not doing what you're supposed to do as far as your spiritual guidance goes, It's usually turbulent. It's usually this energy here. But the energy that I'm getting, to clarify that with this card right here, this is a gratitude and appreciation card. So do be grateful for everything that's happened in your life. I know some of us have had childhoods that we feel like, if we could have chosen a different childhood, we would have. But what you fail to realize is that you and your soul clan, okay, your soul family, sat in this conference room in the fifth dimension planning what kind of experiences you wanted to have in the next physical form that you would take on. Okay, we're about to, all of us are about to incarnate into these new bodies, okay? Now, I realize you and I were husband and wife in the past timeline, but we're going to be father and daughter, or we're going to be mom and daughter, or mom and son in this particular lifetime. And you are going to play this part, and you're going to play that part. And you know what? What we want to do is we want to see what it feels like to feel rejected or abandoned as a child, or not feel good enough, or we want to have these type of personal experiences, or maybe we want to experience addiction. And so everyone's got their part to play, and that happens, and it happens perfectly. It's perfect. But then, when we get in these bodies, we have soul amnesia. We've taken on all of this conditioning and all these fears. And we do that because the 3D is very fear-based. Anything like 5D and up is all love, pure love. There is no fear. Fear cannot exist there. That's the reason why when people say, talk about past life karma, like something that happened in a past life is affecting you in this lifetime. Impossible. And the reason why it's impossible is because once your physical form dies, and your soul goes back to pure source energy where you came from, a reset button is hit. And you're back in perfect, pure love source energy. How could hatred or fear even exist there? It doesn't. Any type of karma or anything that you are experiencing is as a result of the choices that you've made in this particular lifetime. Understand that. So with this appreciation and gratitude card, appreciate the fact that everything has happened exactly like it's supposed to. It all was divinely guided. And you planned this. And so do forgive your soul family, because they all played their parts. I know I had to do a lot of forgiveness, a mass amount of forgiveness over the weekend, and I had to remind myself this. Spirit reminded me, these people were soul family. They were doing what you guys had planned for them to do. So let it go. It takes a lot of energy to hold on to grudges and to hold on to shit. That's a lot of energy that you can be using to manifest, things that you want in your life. We have the Knave of Discs. And it's clarified by Beautiful Bandit. This is the same energy. And so this is really, let me see what those little hearts say. Hate me. That's a button, and that says hate me. Okay, so the energy that I'm getting with this card and with the other card is a lot of times when people hurt us, we go out on a mission. And what we want to do is we want to show the world, I am successful. I never needed you. Look at me. I am good now. I have success in my life. I have transcended everything that I have been through. And that is how I measure success in my life. But see, I'm not taking away from success. But do understand it's just material gain, and you can manifest money and material gain whenever you want. All it is energy. Now, what would happen if you lost everything today? Okay, would that take away from your value and your worth? Would you be back in that energy again of, I'm worthless, and, I evidently have no success in my life. What everyone has said about me is true. And I just feel fucking horrible about myself because I have nothing. You have to get to the point where you are comfortable and that you know your self-worth and your value without adding any material meaning to it. And you do this from coming from a place of your soul. This is my soul. This is who I am as a soul. I know I was very materialistic, very. And it's gotten me into a lot of trouble in my life. And I literally got stripped down to the basics. And even then, I was dependent upon the universe daily for my basic survival. It was very humbling. And I learned at that point that, you know what, I could be out here pushing a shopping cart, living on the street, and I would still be the same beautiful soul that I know that I am. That I know that I am. And the other message that's coming up with this is stop crumb snatching. A lot of times people will throw crumbs at us and we just grab them and we're like, you know what? This is all that I mean to that person, but it's better than nothing. Whatever little crumbs they throw at me, I'm just going to grab them. I'm just going to take them. Give yourself the whole cake and stop depending upon others to throw crumbs at you. We have the Star card. And the Star card, I don't know why I have two Major Arcana card, but I was divinely guided to do this. And we have the Star card, which is the Wish Upon a Star card, clarified by the Chariot. So the energy that I'm getting with this is that make a wish. Make sure you're very, very clear about what you want. If it is a situation where you really are trying to become a millionaire or trying to become very, very successful, that kind of goes along too with what I was saying about the comedians. How many times do you see people who are famous, who are in the public eye, who have lots of money and fame and success, and they're still fucking miserable? They can't keep a spouse. They're always upset, sometimes in and out of rehab. Look at like Amanda Bynes, look at Britney Spears. Look at some of these younger people who were in the public eye at an early age, who achieved a great amount of success, but fucking melted down, just burnt out in the public eye and had public meltdowns like I've never seen before. It was crazy as hell. And there were several of them. They all were from like that same generation. It was like they couldn't handle it. And you don't even hear from them now. They're off somewhere, soul searching, trying to find themselves because somehow they lost themselves trying to achieve fame. So do make sure that whatever it is that you are seeking right now, that it really satisfies your soul. That it really does make you happy on a soul level. Because when you are chasing money or chasing material gain or success or fame, you will never have enough. This is a monster that will never get completely fed. And once you do that, whatever you desire can come to you on a chariot. And look, there's stars on both of those. Look at that. There's stars on both of them. Definitely wish upon a star and be very, very clear of what your intentions are, what you're trying to manifest, and be careful. The universe is trying to give you a gift, and that gift is your soul, returning your soul to you, the knowledge of self, the knowledge of who you've always been, your ancient DNA. This concern goes along with that King of Swords right there. This is that energy of worrying and worrying and worrying. And some of it has to do with this love connection over here, about what's going to happen with that. And once again, you have to get to the point where you surrender. Surrender to the outcome. That you don't have to do anything. I had unjoined all of my spiritual groups because there was so much bullshit in all these groups. Oh my God. And so I stopped looking to Google for any type of spiritual insight. I connect directly now. But I'm in this law of attraction group that somehow slipped through the cracks. But I have been able to get some viewers, because I've been sharing my link to my videos a lot in there. But I don't know how many times a day people post about basically how to use the law of attraction. What do I do? Basically trying to start or end or that law of attraction. This is something it's a process of something that they need to do. The law of attraction is always working. And most of the time it's working by default depending on where you vibrate at. So if you are in a fear-based energy, you're going to always attract your fears. But once you start raising your vibrations and you start aligning to higher vibrational situations, you are consciously creating instead of creating by default. So do know this and do really get into the habit of surrendering the outcome. Raise your vibration, stay in a positive place, know everything's going to work out exactly like it's supposed to. Tell yourself some affirmations if you have to. I know this whole last week I told myself, I have no problems, I have enough money. I have no problems, I have enough money. And I kept telling myself that over and over again. And you tell yourself that enough, you'll believe it. That's what affirmations are for convincing the subconscious. For getting the ego out of the way. You have to tell the ego mind, sit down somewhere, I don't believe you. You're not, whatever you're saying is bullshit, it's not real, it's fear-based, fears are illusions, I don't believe you. Be quiet. I'm not going to listen to my monkey brain anymore. Period. And that's what you have to do. You have to condition, really train your ego to have a back seat, to be in the back seat and let your soul do the driving for you. All right, I'm going to read this postcard oracle card, which I have not read yet. Dearest you, pump up the music, bang the drums, get on up, and start that hustle towards your goals and dreams. There are times to be still, but this is not one of them. Now is the time to make that first move. Say yes to life, pick up the phone, make that decision, and take one step towards the gods or us. Expect a cascade of changes, good news, and opportunities to show up as if by magic. Well, we know it's really spirit and all of us moving things around for your benefit. The point is that we are saying, go for it. Take positive action towards your dreams. Even if the outcome isn't an exact fit for your agenda, it will be orchestrated by spirit and arrive in divine appropriate timing. Don't you just love how it all works? We love you so much. Wow, that's beautiful. So do surrender the outcome. Everything's happening exactly like it's supposed to right now. But do make sure, like I say, you set your intention and know what your dreams are. And be very careful that these are going to make you happy in the long run. So that they can come in on this chariot in divine timing. And show gratitude and appreciation for everything that has showed up so far. And tell yourself, don't things always work out? Yes, they do, because the universe always has your back. So stop worrying about things. I'm doing my paid personal readings differently. I'm doing them by video chat, and they're interactive. And right now they're $50 for about a 40-minute session. And you can actually ask me questions as we go, as we communicate, and I can get a sense for your energy and let you know what is blocking you in different areas of your life. And also, if you'd like to make an energy donation, you can do that as well, and I'll include all that in the description of the video. Thank you for watching.